The ban list. Yu-Gi-Oh! Guantanamo Bay. There are some cards that every player agrees are never ever going to come off the ban list because it's too powerful, too generic, not fun, it's a menace to society, and some of them just don't have enough words on the card. But there are some really strong cards that I think can be limited without an errata. Here are 10 cards that can come off the ban list to 1, but never will. But totally can.
Magical scientist.
I mean, come on, you use your normal summon, it loses to like 5 hand traps, and you don't have 7 free spaces in your extra deck.
Mirage of Nightmare.
It is just clunky. Yeah, you get to draw 4 cards.
That's good.
Oh, at the end of your opponent's go.
Ooh, that's bad.
But you can keep the 4 cards.
That's good.
Oh, only if you use a removal card or an ability to get it off the board.
Ooh, that's bad.
But you get to discard 4 cards to your graveyard. Oh, but on turn 3 or 4 and the game's already over.
That's bad.
Can I go now?
Yeah, I mean, like, it sucks, but there are so many ways around this. Mystical Space Typhoon, Lightning Storm, Feather Duster, Cosmic Cyclone, Dust Tornado. Shien's Spy can flip the lock to your opponent. And on activation, you can use cards like Tornado Dragon to just respond to and kill it. You can also negate it, and there's quite a lot of those running about the game right now.
Draco Slaying Masterpiece.
I mean, you're going to play Masterpiece in a deck with tons of floodgates, and all the good ones are either banned or at 1, and you probably don't want to tribute them for this. And frankly, there's just better options. Also, it dies to Rabbit Dragon and a Go Giga Gaga Gigo, so how strong can it really be? It's a flip monster. That should be enough said, but no. Okay, all it does is just resets the game. And if you're playing this, you're not playing to win. You're just going to keep resetting the game. You're not winning it, you're just holding it hostage until your opponent can OTK you.
Heavy Metal Foes Electromite.
This one's personal, I just want to play Pendulums again. This one's personal, I just want to do degenerate combos and play Bamboo Swords again. You gotta run 60 cards to play this card, which in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is effectively deck building suicide. Especially if this card is a one-of. Oh what, you're gonna use Left Hand Offering to search for this card? You're gonna banish your entire hand, get ashed, and then scoop? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, hot take, but I don't think anyone will actually play this. I think it's gonna be like when Change of Heart or Monster Reborn came off the list. No one will play this card because there's just better cards for your deck out there. Yeah, your opponent can discard a card from your hand, but you can also discard a card you want in the graveyard. It's free advantage. Delinquent Duo, more like Delinquent No. That was probably the worst thing I have ever said. And I'm about to justify why we should bring back Pot of Greed. Alrighty. Pot of Greed is the draw card. The emotional side of me says it is a massive shame that we can't play an iconic Yu-Gi-Oh card. That's like playing Magic the Gathering without Black Lotus. Oh, no, hold on, wait a minute. That's like playing the One Piece TCG without Luffy or Trafalgar Law, one of the most popular characters in the show and someone who's pivotal to the villain's story and... no. Pokemon without Jesse and James? Okay, fine. Forget about it. Where am I going with this? In fact, where am I going with all of this? Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been on a strong trajectory of valuing power and consistency over anything else. I guess you could say that every card game does, to a certain extent. Well, I've played a lot of card games in my time on planet Earth. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of my favourites for many reasons. I need to make that very clear. But a lot of other card games tend to value power in playstyles rather than power for power's sake. Commander is a format in Magic the Gathering where the strongest play someone can do is an infinite loop of resources and damage, and I think most decks can probably pull off an infinite loop combo. All the power in a Commander deck as a whole comes from one effect coming from here, one effect coming from here, and it's all working together into this big machine, and it can all crumble if one cog in the machine fails. Not everything is loaded into one of the biggest, baddest creatures in the game. And even if it is, it can be brought down with a variety of methods too. Commander is such an extensive game, so if you think, oh, I'm going to play this card because no one's going to be able to take it down because they're only playing these decks, that's not going to be the case. There's a Magic the Gathering meme where an Eldritch Elder God can be defeated with 15 flying squirrels. It's more of a meme because it like fails in the flavor, but like mechanically speaking, you can just do whatever the fuck. While Magic the Gathering does value the plays, it also does value power to some extent. I'm not completely delusional about that. It does also value creative problem solving and in Commander, cooperation with your opponents to band together to defeat a common enemy. There's more than one solution to the big problem. Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't have that. You draw that out, or you scoop. So how does power work in something like the One Piece card game? Now, One Piece means you can only play like 1 or 2 colors in each deck, but they try to make each color powerful in what they do. So what do they do? Well, red is a rushdown aggro deck because, of course it is. Green swarms the board and then rests your opponent's cards. Blue draws you cards and returns stuff to the player's hands. Yellow lets you play with your life. Purple gets you more value out of your resource cards, but at the cost of sacrificing them. And black makes all your opponent's cards weaker so they're more prone to removal. Each colour does their own thing, and as the game progresses, we're only going to get stronger cards in each colour. So when a set comes out, we're going to get a strong card for all of them, rather than just getting one really powerful for yellow, and then that becomes the powerful deck right now because they got all the best cards. Like, no, they try to release it for everything at one go. If you leave no man behind, no man will be left behind. And unfortunately, Yu-Gi-Oh! Just values cards that are just downright powerful and downright consistent every single time. So how does it handle its playstyles? Well, you can play these cards that result in you not being able to play the game at all, so you scoop. And then there's these cards that stop your card effect so you can't play the game, and you scoop. And then there are these cards that just kill you in one turn anyway, so you can't play the game, and you scoop. Sure, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of interesting decks and playstyles like this one and this one. These ones are my favourite right now. But the gap in power between the fun stuff and the powerful stuff is too much. And the overall lack of variety in playstyles is just a bit disheartening, really. Sure, there's Runic, but it's Runic. But anyway, let's get back to the matter at hand. Let's get back to Pot of Greed. Pot of Greed is a card that everyone will play. Or at least everyone thinks we're going to play it. Because we will play it. You know what other card everyone plays? Maxi. And that card is legal in 2 out of 3 formats. Okay, not the best example, because a lot of people do call for its ban anyway. But you know what is a good example? Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is totally necessary to the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And everyone plays it. And people calling for its ban just don't know what they're talking about, Redditors. Ash Blossom isn't needed every format, it's not good in every deck, but it's still played every time. Pot of Greed will probably be the same. Other decks will have better alternatives to cement their plays. And you know what? That doesn't just stop at Pot of Greed. Will you really use a normal summon on the Magical Scientist, spend nearly all your life just for a 4-negate Appaloosa and a Little Knight? Would you tribute your precious Floodgates for a once-per-turn removal monster? Will you bank everything on the impact of you activating a single card in your turn? Probably not, because the strongest decks have better alternatives and answers. For what it's worth, I also think banning cards over and over again is a terrible way to treat the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's try unbanning old-school powerhouses. Add to the game, rather than take away from it. Make it a slightly more interesting place. The dumpster fire for this format can't really get much worse. But what about you? Leave a comment telling me what you think. Do you also have a spicy ban list take? And leave a like if you agree with something I said. And leave a dislike if not. Please subscribe for more garbage Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. It actually really helps. Thank you so much. Good luck, have fun, see you next time. You know what? If unbanning cards is the way to fix the game, then I don't even think we need a ban list. That's right, let's just ignore the ban list. Play as many banned cards as you want. Oh, what? You already put 3 Shock Masters in your extra deck? How about you add a few more in? The clue is in the name. Add 16 of those little fuckers to your deck. Hell, I started running a deck with 9 Max C cards. Let's put on my Nightmare Vision goggles. Wow, would you look at that? Everything looks the same. We live in the 9 maxi reality. Rules are a lie. Good luck, have fun.